Hello Leo, we're going to do your May fortnightly reading for the 17th through to the 31st. Please know that all time is fluid, so you may notice these themes have been permeating already through the month. Might be more of a heads up energy for how you close the month. It is unique to the individual. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. My name is Ali. I'm an intuitive energy healer and reader. You can find out a little bit more about the healing work that I do to the links at the links below to my website, my Facebook page. Now, the channel offers fortnightly and monthly readings, so you'll also find that there's a May reading that's been posted already on the channel for you to take a look at. I incorporate a bit of astrology, a lot of soul path stuff in my readings, because it is ultimately, well, what I refer to as the 5 levels and bodies of being. You know, we are more than just a physical, obviously. We are an emotional body. We are a thought body, an energy body, and a soul. I'm just smiling looking at your theme card. How those levels within us, Leo, how they balance and incorporate within us, how we focus on one more so than the other, is unique to us all, yeah? And I feel that's very much a big part of the awakening journey, is being able to discover and unravel these multidimensional aspects of self. I also include links to Natal Chart generators below, which are free, where you can find out a little bit more about your astrology or natal chart. So you are more than just a sun sign in Leo. You are also a rising sign, a moon sign, a Venus sign, a Jupiter sign. That too can give us insight into how we are perceived by others, how we connect with others, what our love language is, how we deal with growth and abundance, all of that sort of stuff, okay? So we're not just limited to the zodiac sign that we were born under. When it comes to the position of the sun, you know, we also deal with our emotions in a unique way. We connect in a unique way. So I encourage viewers to go and discover that as well, if they're not aware. All right. What else? How about we just do your reading? You have a beautiful theme as we close off the final 2 weeks of May. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention was the astrology. We've just hit new moon territory. We've got a new moon in Gemini currently. Obviously, the days before that, depending, excuse me, what part of the globe you're on, the 22nd, I think it is the new moon. So the days before that might feel very introspective, very deep, cathartic healing. So we might even get teary or lazy or feeling like we just want to call in sick, you know. It is that powerful 24-hour period before a new moon that we're transmuting a lot of the stuff so we can prepare for this new moon energy. This new moon energy is amazing because it launches us, because it falls in the sign of Gemini, it launches us into this next ecliptical cycle. If you're not familiar with the ecliptical cycles of the sun and the moon, they switch every 2 years or thereabouts. So for the last 2.5 years, we've had Cancer and Capricorn leading the ecliptical cycle, which has been balancing, to simply put it, our feminine and divine masculine essence, okay, and elements. We've been re-looking at, revisiting the role the feminine has played in our life, how that has been modeled to us, shown to us, how we've allowed that to express within us. Same too with the masculine energy, which leads us to this beautiful Gemini and Sagittarius ecliptical cycle that kicks off in June, okay, which I think is a leader in this new moon energy that we've got now with the new moon in Gemini. It's preparing us for the essence of what is divine love. You know, Gemini is depicted by the lovers in the tarot. Now, divine love is unique for us all. You know, this has been that exploration to balance those 2 elements of self within first in this current ecliptical cycle that we're in, so that we can actually see how that is then mirrored in another, or with another, I should say, because it's not until we experience that within that we can truly experience that without, yeah? 4 planets are currently in retrograde: Venus, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. All of purpose, okay? We're learning what our love language is. We're learning how we've experienced love, intimacy, connection, how it was shown to us, intimate or otherwise, romantic or otherwise. We're going deep in the psyche, in the subconscious, thanks to Pluto. We're re-looking at order, structure, rules, boundaries, and how we've allowed our boundaries to be crossed. What are the new rules we want to live by, play by, thanks to Saturn. With Venus in retrograde, I've done them all. With Venus in retrograde, we're learning about our love language and what love has taught us. Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. Jupiter is about expansion and growth. That's the one I didn't mention. So how we've allowed opportunity to enter our lives, how we've welcomed it and said yes to it or not, how we've struggled with growth perhaps, okay? So in retrograde, we're reviewing. The past is coming back in some way, and that can literally happen. We can see people from our past, or they come back into our experience in one way or another. We get drawn to the past. We get drawn back to sort of do a final review before this next level. That is the gift of the retrogrades. You are working with manifestation energy in many ways, okay? Now, Leo, when it comes to manifestation, make no mistake, divine creativity is our birthright. This is strong sacral chakra stuff, okay? We are creators by nature. This is not about you putting pen to paper or paint to paper. This is whether we've been pregnant or not. At the very beginning of our life, at the very beginning of our existence into this life, we were an explosive, energetic force of life. We grew ourselves, yeah? Think of the amazing growth and transformation that happens, you know, to a cell structure that grows into a fetus, that grows into a beautiful baby that is life, that divine spark that started it all. That is creation energy, that is manifestation energy, that is transformation energy. To say that we don't know how to manifest is almost, it's almost not doing ourselves our biggest favor, yeah? Like, we do know how to manifest because we are manifestation energy. We do know how to create because we have come from creation. We have come from that divine spark of creative force. We do know how to transform because we are transformation itself. That is how we start life, and that is how we end this experience too. We create, transform, and manifest always. I do feel a very strong need to connect into the Leos out there that might be connecting in, to remind you that we can definitely create darkness. We can create our fears, and we actually do so very well. To say that we don't know how to manifest, well, I'm sure no one out there would deny that we have not been able to manifest our fears, yeah? It sort of sounds almost silly to say it, but every time I say, I'm not going to pass that test, I'm not going to be able to find a park, or that's not going to work out well, it's pretty much 99% guarantee that that will come true, because I've already believed it, I've allowed it, I've experienced it, I'm calling it in. That is the gift of the final 2 weeks as we move within this new moon energy in Gemini. Gemini is a connective, learning, inquisitive and communicative sign. It's also a very creative sign when it comes to communication, so it connects us into the magic of how we are spelling and speaking our reality into existence. That which we think we create, you know, thoughts become things, in the words of Mike Dooley. So this is the theme for you, Leo, and I do feel like I'm connecting into some Leos that need to be reminded to, yep, that darkness, that shadow stuff can very well exist, and we can even permeate within that energy, but so too can we do so in this light. Yeah, you are the light. Remember the magic of your light, of what light can create, because we know what darkness can create. Everything you have been through, because you see how he's facing forward, everything you have been through has been of purpose to get you to where you are today. And I feel like I'm connecting into Leos that are like, have this amazing opportunity on the crossroads, if you like, where they know that moving forward, they want the world, their life, their experiences to look, feel, taste, sound like this. Okay, so it's almost like a fill in the blank, a blank slate feeling is what I'm getting from this. This is also very much the Magician card in the tarot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up as well today. So let's take a look, my lovely Leos, to see what else wants to come up for you today. Working with the energy of the new moon, if it's your thing, to work with manifestations, affirmations, vision boards, you know. New moon energy is beautiful for that. It's actually my favorite healing space. More particularly is that those few days before the new moon, that really deep, transformative energy. Because I work on a soul level with my healings, it is a powerhouse of a window to truly get authentic with ourselves and get raw and real. And that one wants to jump. The Tower, Leo. If that's not an awakening and raw and real card, I don't know what is. King of Wands. That's you. Fire sign. Divine spark, the divine essence. I'm connecting into Leos that are wanting to feel at home in themselves again. You know, when was the last time I felt that vitality, that Leo heart space that it's so naturally your birthright. And it is from that space when your heart is expanded, your heart chakra is expanded, that you truly can manifest. You know, you can allow that love and light to flood and touch everything around you, every aspect of your life, your connections, your experience of your career, your friendship groups, your family. I am feeling a sense of tiredness, like I've had to deal with the mainstream a little bit. Okay, so whether that's been because you've been busy doing a job, busy running the same routine, and you're wanting that zest and refresh in your life again. There's a sense of optimism underneath all of this for you, Leo. Okay, the Two of Wands is a promise of things to come. You can almost sense it. Even though you can't see it, you know that something is coming. And what better way to decide exactly what that will be by taking conscious responsibility of what we do want to call in. Yeah. Let's take a look, my darling. Sorry. I just love when they all can look. It's such a great, I've done a couple of readings today. Such a beautiful energy. Like it's, anyway, these cards are like, hi Leo, remember your manifestation ability. This is the color of the sun. The Magician has all elements, everything he needs, or she, every element, every suit is on the table here. As a Major Arcana card, it is infinite. The truth of your manifestation ability, your magician ability, your ability to create whatever it is you want, to experience, feel, you know, and that when it comes to abundance, it's more than just a material thing. There's an abundance of peace in our heart and in our mind that we can feel forever grateful for. Yeah? What are you wanting to call in? Let's just stop your reading right now, because that's that's confirming everything the Oracle card wants to say. Manifestation. Outside of not holding back anymore when it comes to the Nine of Wands energy. In the past, the 9, wow, 9 nines, guys. Sorry, 9, 2 nines. We know what the Nine of Swords energy is about, but you are ending a cycle here, and it is time to call in. We can manifest creatively. Forget the essence of the Nine of Wands, all right? Because it is a holding back energy. But it is the wands nonetheless. It is your suit. It is your element. This is fire. This is creation. This is transformation energy. You are ending an old way of doing that. Because for some reason, I'm connecting into Leos, that for some reason, maybe your manifestations were all about these fears and anxieties. And you're seeing them. If you look back, look at past, look at everything. I'm not saying every bad thing that we create, I mean that we have experienced, has been created by us to that raw essence. But on a soul level, yes, we've called it in for a reason. I feel the strongest need to say to the Leos that I'm connecting to, we know what manifestation is because we've manifested our fears. I've done it, guys. We've all done it. We know how our negative thinking can create our reality. We know that. You are a divine fire, okay? You are the essence of divine fire. And there's a lot of truth in how we hold back sometimes about connecting into that light. What is that Marianne Williamson quote? It is not our darkness that most frightens us, it is our light. Who am I to shine so bright, you know? That is our divine birthright too. Let me pull it up. I'll pull it up super quick. I don't generally do this in the video readings, I'm sorry. Marianne Williamson. Let me read. I feel the strongest need to read this out to you. Quote. Goodness, what's it called? Deepest fear. Let me pull that up while I pull the rest of your cards. There's that Tower card that wanted to jump up again. I'm connecting into Leos that are allowing the structures, the old, to fall away. And they had to, yeah? Because anything and everything that ever caused this had to come down. It's an awakening card. I'm not afraid of these. When it comes to the tarot, I think it's so important to embrace authenticity, the gift of deep healing, the rawness, the realness that comes with these, you know. When it comes to tarot, oh, that's not a bad, you know, some bad stuff's happening. It's not about that. It's actually about, you know what, there's a beautiful gift in that because it brings us to the heart of the matter. We can put band-aids on things. We can deal with surface stuff all the time, but it's not until we get to the level of the soul that we experience true transformation on all levels above it. That's why I work with the 5 bodies. Underneath this is the moon energy, the Ace of Swords. This is you. The Strength card. The fire in our hearts. The Lovers. Everyone's getting this week. Because we are in Venus retrograde, and Venus is retrograding in the sign of Gemini, which is the sign of the Lovers. We are learning about everything to do with divine love. And we learn that by seeing everything that it is not. And we have to walk those paths. They are all wisdom teachers. They're all valuable gifts of love, even though they might not come packaged as love, Leo. Underneath it, the intention is for us to still learn love in some way, yeah? Let me read this quote. So Marianne Williamson, it's a quote by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be, Leo? You are a child of God, universe, whatever you wish to call it. You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. Let me repeat that. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. That is a huge, this was a massive quote for me when I first came across it. It was an aha moment. How many times in life, Leo, do we hold ourselves back from truly shining? There is so much threat that comes with putting ourselves out there, putting ourselves under a spotlight, metaphorically, physically, literally. And you know what? And I brought this up in another reading. I can't remember whose it was. it is, it's just like a deer in the headlight metaphor. It is too bright, and darkness naturally is drawn to the light, and it can be blinding. And it is that same thing, yeah? Fight, flight, or freeze. We react to bright light in that way. We can be afraid of it. It can make us freeze. We can run from it because we're not quite, we're that scared. So naturally then, it is easier to keep ourselves small. It is easier, and as empaths, yeah, we can feel it. We can feel it in another. We can feel it in the others around us. We can feel their energy shift subtly or strongly. And so we tone ourselves down. We don't want to feel intimidating because we don't want others to feel powerless. We don't want to talk about our celebrations and our successes because we don't want another one to feel inadequate. And that's just it. When it comes to our loved ones, we truly want them to be happy. We want them to be proud of themselves. We want them to be able to stand there and say, hey, I did this. Yeah? Think of how sad it is if a child stood there and said, look what I created, and they were just dismissed to the point that they felt like it wasn't even worth saying or announcing, something that they are proud of, that they achieved for themselves. To say who I am and what I want to be when I grow up. We wouldn't dismiss a small child. But on some part of the journey, we learn that we are dismissed. We are shown that something about us speaking our truth, shining our light, stating our boundaries, exclaiming our achievements. At some point in our journey, Leo, we are dismissed. And it teaches us to hold back then. We are shown that it's not safe to put ourselves out there for ridicule, for whatever the case may be. And we can naturally then manifest and call in anything that resembles and vibrates at that same level. We know what this feels like. We know what it is to vibrate at anxiety, worry, stress, and fear. And we quickly see within our reality how we start repeating and seeing that same old, yeah? Make no mistake, you are at a powerful point of manifestation and can truly manifest based on your original light essence, your original knowing, your original... You have come from the light. You can manifest with light and love, this warmth and open-hearted knowing that everything you have ever wanted, you are worthy of and you deserve. Put yourself out. This could be as small, the poem, the quote, this reading, it could be something like, yes, go for that job interview. Yes, give them a call, ask them out. Yes, take that next level. Trust that your path, your purpose, your journey has been for a reason. And where you are heading is going to be here. It is in the light, and there is no risk of recreating anything that feels like this darkness, unless you so choose. For some reason, on your journey, all along the way, at some point you learnt not to shine your light. You are a Leo. Your heart is like the sun. No more holding yourself back. I feel I'm connecting into Leos that are even seeing evidence of what they've manifested. This next year for you has the power to be massive. And I want to say, first and foremost, it is like the last of this old energy, this old belief system, this old knowing where the Tower of Babylon had to fall. Okay, whether a relationship has ended, a belief system, a connection, a karmic patterning, something has had to fall. And again, it led to this, and that connection had to end, okay? It's an energetic connection to our past. It's an energetic connection to our beliefs, an energetic connection to another. It had to end. A career, okay? The old ways of doing things are crumbling, and you're wanting them to, because this is crowning you. You're wanting, because you're wanting to manifest a whole new you, a whole new reality. And that can be as small or as big as you want that to be. I do see here this energy of holding back has shown you exactly what will and won't manifest. Now is the time to not hold back. Yeah, the Knight of Wands is also the wounded warrior, the wounded healer. Your wounds, your pains, everything that you've been through has taught you something, and what it has taught you the most is actually how powerful your intuition is. When the Moon card shows up and is the base of your reading, you have had to turn to your intuition again and again. And it has been a powerful friend. Your intuition is now asking you to go to that next level of yourself, because when I see this, it's asking you to manifest intuitively now. You intuitively know that you can manifest that thing, that person, that experience, that next chapter, that it's asking you to really connect into this. This moon energy we're currently in, and I feel in many ways, the full moon that we are moving into in the next couple of weeks, this next 2 weeks of May, before we get to the full moon at the start of June, I think it's the 5th of June. Is that an eclipse moon? It is, I'm pretty sure. You watch what you can eclipse. The last 9 years, that there's no more ties here. You are ending a cycle. It's something significant, Leo. You are ending a cycle because there's 2 nines. There's 2 nines. What you can achieve, this next level up in your life, the Ace of Swords shows up to give us very strong clarity. Look, you might have even only subtly been aware of a connection, an energetic frequency, a relationship in your life that was also not causing you to shine your light. You had to play it small. You didn't want to shine too bright. You didn't want to go for that job that made that much money. You were playing into someone else's fears, is what I keep hearing. I feel you're dropping a karmic tie and a karmic timeline. This is about you authentically putting yourself out there, because this is open-hearted divine love. Now, whether that happens in a connection that you have and that you had to experience this in order to truly experience this, that might be relevant. But this is courageously embracing the divine love that you are. Courageously embracing not just head decisions, but heart decisions. Because when the lover shows up, it's an equal balance of a head and heart decision. It is a choice to make a head or heart decision, but your heart is calling now. You know, maybe you've been living a lifestyle that was very much head orientated, very logical, very practical. And now your heart is calling for you to be courageous. There's some boundaries that need to... I feel like I'm specifically picking up on Leos that have identified that something has not been healthy for you as an empath, as someone that's... It's an energy cord here that had to be cut, had to end. A relationship can no longer go in the way it was, and it had fundamentally shaped you and your creative ability, or perhaps your creative inability, yeah? There's a new way in which you can create, manifest, and draw in your abundance, but you were taught in the wrong classroom, is what I'm metaphorically feeling. You're putting down boundaries now when it comes to what does and does not resonate to this. I keep seeing Leo's putting a boundary line down, and that is all black and white and grey, and this is all beautiful colour. And you're on this side. And maybe that is symbolic of friendships, family members, old workplaces, old relationships, an old version of you, no longer you putting a line in the sand. It is more than just a boundary line. This is conflict. This is conflict, and I feel like I'm connecting into Leos who have played a role so as not to upset the insecurity of others, so as not to, not shine your light. The quote is relevant. We are all meant to shine as children do. I feel like I'm connecting into Leos that have allowed themselves for too long to play it small, for too long to energetically give too much to a certain relationship, connection, way of living. The roles and dynamics we play within our families and our extended friendship circles. There is an ending here, an ending of an old version of you, and that's what's actually a conflict. The conflict is existing within you. And naturally, as we connect into our divine essence, our divine knowing, our birthright to manifest and be and shine as we feel in here, because it's what we genuinely want for another, there is going to be some conflict. And conflict can naturally happen when we start to say no to people we had always said yes to the connections we had always enabled and allowed on some level, Leo. Naturally, conflict happens when we start to shapeshift and change form, when people are used to us being a certain way. And this conflict that exists within us has nowhere else to go but out now, because we have to state a boundary. And so that naturally shifts who we are in their eyes. But there will be a settling. There is a settling. But I'm not going to lie that this is conflict energy. But it is the emergence of the conflict within you, because it needs to come out. It is not chaos and chaotic. But I also feel like I'm connecting into Leos that can no longer live like that. You can no longer live that version of yourself or that version of your reality, because you sense something here. There is an optimism about a new way of living, loving, connecting, experiencing your days, your career, the expression of yourself, completely free. And you've identified those entanglements. I keep seeing energy cords. There are energy cords here, Leo. And whether that is an energy cord to a family member, a parent, a friendship, a career, or a belief system, it's a disconnection of that, because you're sensing this new thing coming in, this new version of yourself. You've had to deal with some deceptive energy, and deception can exist within self. When the Seven of Swords shows up, it is what I call the narcissist card. It's dealing with deceptive behavior, dealing with the selfish behaviors of others. And as empaths, we do this. We enable so much, yeah? Because we want someone to be happy. So if they're freaking out, we're like, please don't freak out. I'll do it for you. Don't stress out. I'll take that responsibility for you, to the point that we've enabled the very existence of their shadow self. And I've been talking about this in some of the zodiacs this week, and in the May readings. There is a distinct shadow and light element to the empath. We must experience the shadow element of being an empath so that we can truly experience the light of being an empath. This was about you connecting into your divine knowing, your intuitive knowing. There's something here you intuitively knew, intuitively sensed. Your intuition has been trying to come through about this deceptive behavior, about how we deceive ourselves when we allow deceptive behavior or unhealthy connections. And if I was just to get to the raw and real in the center of myself, it is unhealthy and deceptive of me to not allow my truth and my light to shine, because I have to play small, because I don't want to cause conflict. I don't want other people to feel uncomfortable. How dare I be happy in a relationship when other people are not? How dare I be successful in my career and abundant and achieve success when others are not? Because I can sense the energy being directed at me, because I can sense the disharmony, the conflict, the fear and insecurity in others. But as the quote said, it is not just in some of us, it is in everyone, this divine right to shine. And as we let our own light shine, we subconsciously give everyone permission to do the same, to be authentic. To be authentic is the opposite of being deceptive. And I've mentioned this on my page, honesty has been such a big thing in my journey. Who am I to say that I detest dishonesty. I hate the energy of betrayal. Why can't someone just be truthful? Insert all the different scenarios in that. But if I don't speak my truth in every moment, in my friendships, my connections, the relationship I have with my children, you know, the relationship I have with loved ones, then I'm not being honest. If I don't say no when I want to say no, and I'm still saying yes because I'm trying to be a good empath and a good person and a good whatever, that's being deceptive. Yeah? This is huge, Leo. And this has been about emotional mastery. This has been about emotional equilibrium. And it is our emotions that make us feel guilty or not. Yeah? It is completely up to us how we feel. It is our responsibility. So that goes across the table. How other people feel, how they're navigating their own life and their experiences is completely theirs too. We can walk side by side, yes. But in true love, in true divine love, if we truly love someone, whether this is an intimate partner, a family member, a child, true unconditional love is this deeper trust that they are free to navigate their journey because on a soul level they've chosen it, to experience it for all the wisdom and lessons it will bring, yeah? This emotional honesty, this cord cutting, this letting go of an old way of being you, being small, playing small and not allowing your boundaries to be crossed on every level will bring you to the essence of who you are. You are this Queen of Wands energy. You are the divine spark, the divine creativity, this confidence and sass, and there's nothing shadow element about it. This is about you standing in the light of who you are, Leo. You have all the queens on the table, my love. Wow, you've got the 3 queens on the table. There's a higher principle here when the Hierophant shows up. There is a spiritual lesson here. Where you're heading and what you are achieving. Not only are you coming into yourself, Leo, but you are being practical and you are grounding down these wisdoms in your everyday reality because you have fundamentally shifted your emotional body too. The Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles. You know what the only queen is missing? Is the Queen of Swords. Do you know what the Queen of Swords is known for? She does not put up with BS. She knows how to navigate situations like this the minute they arise. This is about boundaries. The way you end your month, the lesson you are integrating right before you get to your most potent experience of manifestation, this is necessary first. There are boundaries that you need to put down within self first, Leo, so that you can put them down in situations around you, within connections around you. This is a no more, and it has to come from the heart because you would actually want that for them. Flip the script if it was the other way around, and whoever it is that you're connecting into, you'll know which connection, which colleague, which experience, which family member, which friendship. If it was the other way around, you wouldn't want them to continue to navigate their journey in the way that you have been doing, yeah? If this was your loved one, you would want them to state their boundary, to speak their truth, to shine their light, because that is their divine birthright. There's a boundary line here that gets put down. Like I said, grey, black and white, rainbow. Life's not all rainbows, I get it. But there's an empowering moment for you where you say no more. Even if you say that in the mirror to yourself, no more. This Leo wants to feel like this, think like this, speak like this, be like this moving forward. And it is from this space and strong knowing. I have the wisdom of everything I've learned. I know why I was doing it, why I allowed it, why I allowed boundaries to be crossed. I know what my deeper motivations were. But if this was someone I loved and cherished, I would want them to shine. I would want them to put healthy boundaries down. I would want them to glow. and call in anything they wish to manifest that fills them here. It's about you shining your Leonian heart light. Yeah? There's been a spiritual wisdom here, Leo. When the Hierophant shows up, you might be connected in to a Taurus, a Gemini. These seasons might be relevant because we are in Taurus season right before Gemini season. Well, we're going to be hitting Gemini season now. There's a beginning here that is infused with the spiritual lessons and principles you have learned about fear, conflict. Do not be afraid of conflict because you're looking at the permanency of what you want to build moving forward. This is the Dynasty card, the marriage card, family, home and hearth. From here on in, this is what I want to come home to, what I want to achieve. There's material success in my decisions moving forward because I am choosing me. And then there's a coming together and a celebration of that and who feels like home, that and who feels like our soul tribe. And if boundaries have to be put down and relationships fall away, so be it. You know, that those relationships, connections, career, places, those times were a part of your before times. A relationship needs to evolve here, and it first starts within the relationship we have with self. The Judgment card, this can't get any more karmically balanced. The Justice card, you are on the way to balancing karma, karmic patterning, dropping an old frequency by putting this boundary down. It's the way in which we feel conflicted inside. Whether we speak our truth, shine our light, show the world who we are. You deserve to do that, Leo. Watch what you can manifest when you do. This is beautiful. Manifestation, my lovely Leos. Manifestation, manifestation, manifestation. That is the gift of May as we close out the final 2 weeks. And there's a beautiful gift here. When we look at our deepest fears, when we look at the truth of light and how much of that we allow to shine. You are the sun in the tarot. Yeah. You are the sun. You are the strength card in the tarot. Sorry, I'm looking at the tarot. But you are the sun. You are vitality and life force. Fill yourself with that. And then allow it to overflow and touch all else around you. It has to start with you. All right, my lovely Leos, I hope you found some resonance in that and some clarity and some inspiration as you close off the month of May. I'll see you for your June reading next month. Enjoy.